N to R, shock oil pressure control, together with N to D, shock control, is very important too, for the smooth shifting. When the rear gear is selected in neutral range, oil pressure of low and reverse brake moves out of the brake rapidly, which has been supplied in neutral range. Almost at the same time, oil pressure of low and reverse is supplied to low and reverse brake rapidly, which has been supplied with the switch valve. Oil is released first and gathered again so that decreasing the shock in N to R or P to R shift enhances the smooth shifting. When the oil pressure is supplied again to low and reverse brake, oil pressure is supplied through the damping valve inside valve body to reduce the slight shock one more time. If driving is normal in first speed, but troublesome in second speed, second brake is doubtful first of all. If the trouble proves to be not electrical, but mechanical or hydraulic problem, oil pressure measurement of second brake is essential. Auto tester is used to maintain the second speed continuously during the test. Connect the auto tester power to the battery and disconnect the solenoid valve connector. And connect both harnesses together. Then, installation is completed. Select the vehicle model and 4 automatic transaxle or 5 automatic transaxle and select the appropriate gear ratio. Then, any speed is feasible ranging from 1st to 4th or 5th speed. Corresponding lamp turned on by the solenoid valve operation with the gear selected. This signal does not mean that clutch or brake is in operation, but solenoid valve is on. So, the operating elements are interpreted reverse. While the auto tester is operating, shifting shock happens whenever the gear is shifted because it is not controlled electronically by the TCM. Since the solenoid valve connector is open, the fail code is memorized. Therefore, fault code should be detected by using the diagnosis equipment.
Lecture order of the chassis is as follows. Manual transaxle, automatic transaxle, ESP, electronic stability program, and VRS, variable rack stroke. The Carnival diesel engine is equipped with a new large-size manual transaxle for M5HF2 and a new middle-size manual transaxle M5GF2 is for the new 2.7 engine. It has 3 axes. The capability and durability are enhanced. As the multi-synchronizer is applied, the performance and shift feeling are enhanced. The clutch system has a CSC newly. The CSC is the abbreviation of concentric slave cylinder. By making the clutch control part be a single module, the operating efficiency is enhanced and the number of parts and the weight are reduced. CSC comprises the hydraulic hose connector and the air bleeding part. For removal of the CSC and the hydraulic hose, remove the clip, pull the quick connector of the hydraulic hose to take it off. Exceptionally, for the M5GF2, additional air bleeding pipe is installed. The clutch system is applied with new SAC, self-adjusting clutch. For the conventional clutch structure, the diaphragm position varies to the fixed supporting point according to the wear of the clutch disc, so that the depressing effort for clutch pedal varies. Therefore, the driver easily feels higher depressing effort of the clutch pedal during driving. In the SAC system, as the clutch disc is wearing out, there are more gaps in the wear amount. Therefore, the adjusting ring is rotated to compensate for this space. As a result, the constant pressing force of the pedal can be maintained. To distinguish the normal and worn out one, check the disc wear amount by the spring. The disc wear amount of normal is shown at the upper side, and that of the worn out one is shown at the lower side. When installing the clutch, the side having the mark of TM side should be facing the clutch cover. When replacing the clutch disc, the clutch cover and the disc should be replaced at the same time. The reason is that the clutch cover is adjusted to the clutch disc wearing out. If the new disc is installed at the old disc cover, the cutting out of the driving force has a problem. The automatic transaxle applied to the Carnival diesel and the Lambda 3.8 liter is the A5HF1, a new large-size automatic transaxle, and the advanced F4A51 middle-size automatic transaxle is for the new 2.7 liter. To correspond to higher engine torque, the durability for the automatic transaxle has been improved. The TCM of the diesel engine is Melco type, which is installed on the upper side of the driver's brake pedal. For the gasoline engine, the Delphi integrated type PCM is applied and installed in the engine compartment. The operating elements at each shifting are the same with those of the conventional one. The diagnosis of the problem is also the same. The enhancing feature against the conventional 5-speed automatic transaxle are that, first, the fuel consumption is enhanced by adopting the variable line pressure control. As the VFS valve for the variable line pressure control is applied to the valve body, the line pressure corresponding to the engine load varies from 3.2 bar to 10.5 bar at the D range. Look at the hydraulic pressure circuit of the VFS valve. The line pressure was maintained constantly at the regulator valve in the conventional system. TCM controls the current of the VFS from 0 mA to 1100 mA, so that the hydraulic pressure is applied to the left spring of the regulator valve is changed. Therefore, the line pressure equivalent to the spring constant plus VFS control pressure is generated. At the current data of the scanner, it is represented as the pressure solenoid duty. The standard resistance of the VFS valve is 4.35 plus or minus 0.35 ohms. Secondly, a new frictional material is applied to the overdrive clutch and the second brake. Conventionally, it is the double-side type. As the single-side type frictional plate is applied, the heat-absorbing capacity by the friction material can be enhanced, the durability is improved, and a more smooth shifting is obtained. Thirdly, the number of the pinion gear for overdrive and direct planetary carrier is increased to 4 from 3. Look at the input-output elements. The difference from the conventional automatic transaxle is that the VFS valve for varying the line pressure is added to the output element. Among the diagnosis functions of the scanner, there is the transaxle adaptive value erasing item. When must we do this? First, after performing the TCM reprogramming. Secondly, replacing the automatic transaxle or TCM. Thirdly, before doing TCM learning for the vehicle having shift delay or shock, the old learnt value should be erased. After erasing the learning, the ignition shift should be turned off and then on. The DTC detecting condition for the inhibitor switch is changed. In the conventional form, the error code item is output when there is no signal for 30 seconds at the key on state. However, in case of the Carnival, the error code is output when the engine RPM is 1500 RPM or more and the TPS is at 1.013 volts. ESP system is equipped with a Bosch 8 version. Based on various sensor signals, it controls the vehicle's position to ensure the safety of the vehicle. Let's look at the location of the components. The built-in type pressure sensor is applied and it is located inside the hydraulic unit. Next, the power supply line supplies the electrical power to the motor pump relay through the ABS1 40 ampere fusible link of the engine room juncture box, and to the valve relay through the ABS2 20 ampere fusible link. An active wheel speed sensor, which is not needed to adjust the air gap, is applied. Steering angle sensor is installed at the lower part of the steering wheel clock spring. The wire has 4 pins. The first pin is for sensor ground, the second pin is for 12 volts, the third pin is for CAN high, the fourth pin is for CAN low. The feature of the steering angle sensor is that it is needed to perform the steering angle calibration. When the steering angle sensor is replaced, the current position of the steering wheel is sent to the scanner using the calibration by scanner. The method for calibration is as follows. First, align the wheel in a straight line. Drive the vehicle backwards and forwards 2 to 3 times. Second, connect the scanner to the vehicle. Third, turn on the scanner. Fourth, select the steering angle sensor calibration and perform it following the instructions of the scanner. Fifth, turn off the scanner. Sixth, turn on the scanner again. Check the steering angle value of the current data. The yaw rate and the lateral G sensor is installed at the lower part of the center console. As the yaw rate and the lateral G sensor is sensible to the shock, be careful with treating with this. It should be assembled with a ratchet or spanner. When the sensor connector is removed or installed, the power should be off. Further, the arrow mark on the sensor upper portion should face the front of the vehicle. Among the diagnosis items of the scanner, there is the variant coding item. Based on the specification of vehicle received by ESP-ECM through the CAN communication, the sorted code value is stored in the ESP-ECM memory. This is the variant coding. The method for variant coding is as follows. First, connect the scanner to the vehicle. Second, turn on the ignition switch. Third, select the variant coding in the scanner items to perform the variant coding. Fourth, turn off the scanner. Fifth, turn off the ignition switch and then on again. At the service shop, if the specification variant does not need to be changed, it is not necessary to perform the coding. Compared with previous Mando ESP, the Bosch 8 version has some different error codes. C1605 for CAN hardware is detected when the CAN controller is defective. C1623, the CAN timeout steering angle sensor, is output when the steering angle signal communication is defective. C1625, the CAN timeout ESP, is output when the ESP communication is defective. The particular wheel error cannot be detected. However, if any one wheel sensor among the four does not satisfy the threshold, the C1213 wheel sensor error code will be stored. The VRS system installed in the Carnival is an abbreviation of the variable rack stroke. When the vehicle is not equipped with a snow chain, the vehicle with the VRS system has an extra gap by 5 mm of a rack stopper, which limits the front wheel steering angle to change the rack stroke so that it is possible to steer more with this gap when parking or U-turning. Therefore, the Carnival can use the dead angle chain gap in which other vehicles cannot use. When the snow chain is installed at the vehicle, the VRS operating switch is turned on to rotate the DC motor installed in the steering gearbox. The motor gear and intermediate gear are rotating. Then the intermediate gear rotates the gear stopper to change the stroke so that the steering amount is reduced while parking or U-turning. The switch is installed at the left of the driver's seat. The control unit is installed at the center of the dash panel. The small DC motor is installed on both sides of the power steering gearbox. The nominal resistance for the motor is 4 to 20 ohm. If the motor has defects, replace the power steering gearbox. For the power supply, the power is supplied to the VRS module and switched through the 10 amp fuse of the inner panel juncture box. Next, look at the steering angle difference with full steering in a vehicle. When the VRS switch is off, the rotation radius is minimized. When the VRS switch is on, it is in the chain installation mode. As no warning lamp is supported for the VRS system when it has defects, malfunction is determined by motor resistance or power supplying to the switch. Especially, the malfunction can be detected by the steering angle. Up to now, we have studied the Carnival chassis system.
For the manual transaxle, model M5GF1 is applied for the Theta 2.0-liter engine. However, for the 2.0-liter VGT common rail diesel engine, 6-speed manual transaxle model M6GF2 is employed. This video will introduce the M6GF2. For the automatic transaxle, model F4A42 is applied to the Theta 2.0-liter engine, and model F4A51 is adapted to the 2.0-liter common rail diesel engine to meet bigger engine torque. However, for the 2.7-liter V6 engine equips the 5-speed automatic transaxle model A5GF1. The front suspension is the McPherson strut type. The rear suspension employs in-wheel type multi-link system to enhance the riding comfort. Disc type rear brake and foot brake type parking system are applied. For the vehicle dynamic control, Mando MGH25 ESP system is applied as an optional item. MGH25 series has been adapted for the new Sportage, Rio, and new Optima. The main features of the M6GF2 are: it has a 3-axis structure to meet better torque capacity and endurance, and multi-synchronizer is applied. Lifetime transaxle oil with low viscosity is applied to enhance the shifting feeling at low temperature. The oil specification is SAE 75W85. A concentric slave cylinder is applied to modularize the clutch control so that operating efficiency is raised and part numbers and weight have been reduced greatly. To operate the clutch pedal, press the clutch pedal to operate CSC with hydraulic pressure. And then,
CSC moves the diaphragm spring of the clutch cover. Since the clutch disc has direction, assemble it by the distinguishing marks on the disc surface to the engine side and the transaxle side while replacing CSC hydraulic line, which consists of a hydraulic hose connection and air bleeding. To remove the CSC and hydraulic hose, pull the quick connector of the hydraulic hose after removing the clip. To assemble the clip to the hydraulic hose and push the quick connector in, and then assembly is complete if a clicking sound is heard. In addition, the self-adjusting clutch, keeping the stepping force of the clutch pedal evenly, is applied. The components of the SAC are the clutch cover, the adjuster ring, the stopper, the diaphragm spring, the sensor spring, the pressure plate, and clutch disc. For the general clutch system, when the clutch disc is worn out, the diaphragm spring would be erected up so as to increase the stepping force of the clutch pedal. By the same process, in the SAC system, the stepping force of the clutch pedal is also increased. However, by the operation of the sensor spring detecting the increased stepping force, the diaphragm spring is moved to the disc side, making the adjuster ring fill the space. Therefore, the diaphragm spring can maintain the initial clearance. Further, the stepping force of the pedal also maintains the initial force. As shown in the single device picture, to check the disc worn condition, look at the compensation spring. Now, let's study about the cautions at maintenance service. First, when installing the clutch, the TM side facing to the clutch cover should be positioned. Second, when replacing the clutch, replace the clutch cover and clutch disc as a set. Because the clutch cover is adjusted with the worn amount of the clutch disc, if the worn clutch is replaced only, then the disc slip can occur. Third, when assembling the clutch cover, tighten the bolt and nut in sequence. These should be fastened with regulated torque by applying the torque dividing at a 2 to 3 at each bolt. If each bolt is fastened at once with one time, the cover may be distorted so that the pedal's stepping force may be increased or the clutch may make a judder. Finally, as the CSC, SAC, and DMF may be defected by a shock, be careful when carrying them or working with them. The new generation automatic transaxle is applied. Model F4A42 with Siemens management system is applied for the Theta 2.0 and 2.4 liter engines. However, the 2.0 liter common rail diesel engine is equipped with model F4A51 with Melco management system. 5-speed automatic transaxle model A5GF1 with Delphi management system is applied for 2.7 liter V6 engine for the North American market only. For the better fuel economy, variable line pressure control by variable force solenoid is used. The VFS is added to the valve body that controls the line pressure from 3.2 bar up to 10.5 bar at driving range. With the variable line pressure control, the optimal hydraulic pressure can be applied at each gear position while driving, resulting in better fuel consumption by reducing unnecessary engine load caused by oil pump operation. Now, let's see the hydraulic circuit diagram for variable line pressure. In case of the automatic transaxle without VFS, the regulator valve in the valve body modulates the line pressure constantly. This is for the hydraulic circuit diagram of the VFS control. Variable hydraulic pressure applies to spring on the left side of the regulator valve. By doing so, line pressure is set where it balances with the spring constant plus VFS controlling pressure. As a result, line pressure varies depending on the VFS current changes. For the installation position, the TCM of 2.0-liter common rail diesel engine is installed under the crash pad on the driver's side. The AT relay supplying the electric power to each solenoid valve is installed next to the TCM. For the gasoline engine, integrated type PCM is used and installed at the engine compartment. The AT relay is installed in the engine room junction box. Regarding the menu of resetting adaptive TA value on the scanner, you have to perform this menu after, firstly, TCM upgrade, secondly, TCM or automatic transaxle replacement, thirdly, experiencing engine run-up or shifting shock while driving. The TCM learning value will be erased after the resetting procedure with the scanner. However, after finishing the resetting procedure, turn the ignition key off and wait for more than 10 seconds. Electric type shift key lock system is employed for Europe, Australia, and North America. It is a standard item for North America and Australia, however, it is an optional item for Europe. Location of the ATM shift lock control module installed under the crash pad on the driver's side. Let's see the operating time chart of the shift lock system. When ignition key is on at P or N range with brake switch on, ATM solenoid is activated and the shift lever can be moved to other ranges. In another case, when the vehicle speed is less than 7 km per hour at D range with brake switch on, ATM solenoid is activated and the shift lever can be moved to P range.
فراموش نکنید که توی کانال سابسکرایب کنید، زنگوله رو به صدا در بیارید و کانال رو با دیگر دوستانتون به اشتراک بذارید. تا ویدیوی بعدی، روزگار خوش.